The asylum system is being gamed, corrupted deliberately. We don't just need a physical barrier on the border, we need asylum reform as well. First, the numbers. 42,000 asylum seekers in 2008. 10 years later, it is 160,000. 809,000 migrants are already in America, waiting for a court hearing. The wait averages 578 days. Most disappear. You get the point? The system is swamped, and the migrants know it. They know that President Obama changed the rules so that people who fear domestic violence and gang violence may claim asylum. So migrants are coached to make that claim, which of course is hard to disprove. Let's be clear, we live in the era of mass migration. Millions of Mideasterners marched, I mean literally marched into Europe. Now it's Central Americans marching to America. Asylum requests from Hondurans, Guatemalans and Salvadorians are up 900% in the last 5 years. Americans are generous people, humanitarian, but we can't allow our asylum system to be gamed. That is not humanitarian. That's allowing cheating on a mass scale, and it's wrong. The third hour of Varney continues. All right, you heard my editorial. Let's get reaction from Fox News contributor Lawrence Jones, who is with us now. Where am I going wrong? Asylum reform is an absolute must. What say you?
No, you're right, Stuart, and I think that both political parties are to blame when it comes to this. There is an element of the left wanting open borders, and they don't want us to have a tough vetting system, but there is an element on the right, the business class, that are crony capitalists that want cheap labor as well. And so you have two competing interests right there, and they don't want to get the problem solved.
Lawrence, you and I both remember the last few years in Europe when literally an army of migrants literally marched, 9 abreast, marched across Europe. Angela Merkel let them in for humanitarian reasons. I got it. But it was a disaster for Europe. Do you think the same thing could happen here? Mass migration, literally millions of people coming in. Could that happen?
Well, I think that's the goal. But I think unlike in Europe, we have a commander-in-chief that's not for that. I can't see him allowing just an open border policy like this, even if they claim it to be an asylum. The reform there is, what is the standard? Because if it's just a matter of you fighting for your own country to get it to a place where it's reasonable for people to live in harmony, that's really not an asylum process. Right. People should be encouraged to fight for their own countries, and I don't think right now we're encouraging them to do that.
Okay, look at the other side of the coin for a second. Am I being too harsh? America is a generous place. We're humanitarian people. And here I am saying, you've got to reform these laws and keep them out. I mean, perhaps I'm being unduly harsh, do you think?
No, I don't think you're being harsh as well, at all, Stuart. I think, look, I even disagree sometimes with the president when he says he wants a merit-based immigration system, because I also believe that when we say we want other countries' best and brightest, that we're doing them a disservice from fixing their own country. And so I think there's a balanced approach. Look, when people are being persecuted, I understand that America has a place being the world's leader to step in and help out sometimes. But I think we got to get away from the nation building policy, and we have real issues to deal with our own country, and we can't just be a nation that is inviting more problems into our own country. I think there's a balanced approach to do that, but an open border policy and the business class saying that they just want crony capitalism by getting cheap labor is the wrong way to go.
Okay. You're a Texas